Hello. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time zone the world you all are, it's your Blue Archive Gacha wheel, beginner artist self-proclaimed, and your boy Tosan. Welcome to the stream. For today, it's like our just chatting stream, Zatsudan. And gonna be me not playing games on stream, not drawing on stream, just like my talking. So like there's no safety net really. But to be honest, like things like drawing or like gaming, they do need like a certain setup, and especially like my attention as well. For me, like starting the stream like at the late evening in my time zone, let's say I can't really pay much attention to that. I came like back from like work, okay, why that's so similar? It's like the same forward letter, you know, starts with a W and ends with a K, but like work was like something I was like busy with, and it took a lot more of my time than I wanted, so I couldn't like plan any streams under the week, so like from Monday to like Thursday, so to say. I did wanted to have them at a time that is like more optimal for me, or like not optimal, but like, you know, it's like more spread out through the week, you know, since I like stream 3 times in a week. It would be like pretty nice if I like kind of spaced them in between the days instead of like focusing them all around the end of the week, you know, but can't be helped. What was like stopping me there was overtime, you could like say, Zangyo they say like in Japanese. So I had like to work 2 extra hours, and let's say that this was hard on my body. So it's like nighttime, you know. It's gonna stretch like somewhat to a night shift, like 2 hours extra, you know. Usually it's like an afternoon shift, but it stretches like a little bit later, and you can like see that the sun goes down, it gets dark, when it's like you're only like your workplace, you know, your surroundings illuminated by like electric lights, and usually when there are like lights on, you know, your body still is like feeling like, okay, it's daytime, I need to stay awake, but actually it should be like time to go to bed for you at this point. And yeah, it can make like some effect on your body, you know, also like feel a little bit thirsty, like the throat is like a little bit dry, when like what I go through my mind is like, man, I want to go home, I need to do my dailies and gachas, I need to like prepare for streams, but since body mind is like distracted by like the workflow, you know, you have to keep up until it's like over. And then yeah, the advantage of like overtime is that you get more money out of that, but you lose time. And you know, time is for me something that has more priority. What is like more important for you, time or money? For me, it would be like time. Time is like something that you get when you like are like born to the world, you know, like you earn a life, and with that like a lifetime worth of experience, you know. It's only like a fixed amount. Like some religions like believe, for example, that, but yeah, it's like about your decision making on what to do with this time. And you have like only so much time in this world to live, right? So I value time a lot more in this regard, since time is like a finite resource, while money is not, you know. Money you can always earn a time, you know, especially if you're like younger. You want to use that time well, as best as you can, I'd say. Maybe you have like some goals, you know? Maybe there's like a important event going on, like a birthday of someone's, you know, then you have to prepare. Like, if you have like 2 extra hours each day, you can do a lot. You can do a lot in 1 hour already, right? And if this can stack up, you know, would be like great. But sometimes it can't be like help and work, you know. Sometimes they do need extra help, and then they're like not enough like people there, not enough like workforce, and then you have to extend, you know. And everyone who's like, you know, participating gets like extra money, you know. There's like that advantage there, but so it's like not all that bad. But looking back at that, just what I want to say is just like your time is limited, you know, and make the best out of it, you know. Like with your time you have remaining. Sometimes you can't like really like you know, life is like dictating more or less the flow. You can make a plan, you know, a schedule, but in the end it's all about like how the world around you, how life is like treating you, like making those things happen, you know. Like streams for example could also be like a way of life, you know. You can prepare, you can have experience everything, but if scuff kicks in, like if you're muted or whatever, you know, and let's say there's like no one who's like, hey, Tosan, you're muted, you know. If there's like no one to say that, then might as well like spend the whole stream like muted, right? My very first stream, which was on Twitch by the way, spent like the entire time muted. Nobody pointed out that I was muted, you know, because I had like 0 viewers at this time. But one guy popped like around at the end, you know, and be like, hey, I like your art. And then let him follow, you know. And I could have said, I can like say thank you, you know, and then can like try to like prompt like a conversation, but if I'm muted, right? For example, like it doesn't like matter like how much you prepare, you know, or if you go like unprepared, for example, things can like, you know, be like that you have absolutely no one to talk to, that no one is like pointing out your mistakes. It's that you like learn things in the hard way, and life can be like that, you know. Like streams, like live streams and like, you know, life can be like similar, right? If you look at it like that. But yeah. For now, what I'm like doing right now is like a chatting stream, you know, like yapping, but actually what I'm doing is like taking care of my gacha, doing my dailies, since server reset was like during the time, like occurred during the time like I was working. Like currently what I'm doing is like the archive. I'm gonna check in on Missime. I think like, yeah, I should like check that out now, since I was capping on race points. Yeah, I would like to put them on stream, but those are like multiple gacha games, and YouTube doesn't, I think, like really like it if I let's say like for the searchability, you know, it's like not that good if I like have on one stream like multiple games. YouTube voice is like better if you like kind of like separate those, and it doesn't like mess up with the algorithm or something like that. I like not too familiar with that, but looking at, for example, at like other streamers, for example, like not necessarily like VTubers, but like, you know, Flash streamers, Flash tubers. I do like get that, you know, and to be honest, me too. I do like to have like things in order as well. So we have like a Zatsudan, you know. Occasionally I can like show things on stream. I do not have perms, but I do not monetize like things, so it's like, you know. For now I have like nothing that I can get monetarily. There's like memberships I can activate, there are like super chats can activate, but for now I'm gonna put them on hold until like I feel like that it's like I have like everything ready that makes me feel like, yes, now I deserve that, you know. Okay, gonna have like some tea ready. Just like came, you know, coming home from work, doing the other job, you know, like sometimes gacha games can be like working off the dailies and everything, but the thing is like gacha games with their dailies, like Japanese gacha games, they are fun. Work sometimes it's not so fun, but you do that because you get money out of that, right? So yeah, it's like this kind of trade-off. Ocha o nomimasu. Yeah, how do I keep myself sane at work? I have like podcasts also. YouTube Premium is like pretty useful there. There are like ways on like to do it without YouTube Premium, of course, but the thing is like with YouTube Premium you have no ads, right? And can like play it in the background with like the screen turned off. You can download like videos. You can like play, if you want to, like videos at 4x speed or something like that. Like customize that. It has like some advantages there. And once you have like YouTube Premium, once I had it like unlocked, I can't really like let go of that for some reason. And I use like YouTube on a daily basis, so there are like no like downtimes really, where I'm like, okay, here I can like cancel subscription and then like rest, you know, for a bit. Like ads do be annoying. By the way, when like someone is like dependent on like ads, you know, and you watch their content as like YouTube Premium user, you can still support them, you know, it's just like it doesn't show ads for you. I always like understood it like, oh, like those content creators, they need like the ad revenue, you have to watch the ads, you know, when they get you know, the full pay out of that, you know, instead of like a part. But if you like YouTube Premium, they won't get anything. Actually they do, like content creators still do get something, but I don't like know the numbers really. But I just heard that from somewhere, and I remember it like that, something like that. But yeah, there's like no promotion for like YouTube Premium. It's just like, man, it's too good, you know. It's like, can you like, for example, like let go of your phone, like your smartphone, like for a week or so? Can you survive without a smartphone? I would say, in my case, like surviving, you still can survive without a smartphone, you know? Like no like gaming or like distractions from that, you know? You can be fine. Technically you can survive, but you will like miss something. But like I say, I would miss it, you know. I also play like gacha games and then have all the apps installed, and then I kinda have to keep up, else I'm gonna lose like progress, you know. I'm playing like, I have like a little bit more of a free-to-play mindset in those, in like the Mystery example, and then like some other gacha game. But like for Blue Archive example, you paid like for let's say if you're like whales, then it's like more reason to like keep up daily, you know. If you're just like a normal casual, it wouldn't like matter, you know, because you can like just blissfully ignore that, you know. And there are like advantages in like being a casual, and like there can be like more disadvantages in like being a whale and like too dedicated in like gaming, I'd say. Sometimes, sometimes I do think like that gamers be unhealthy, you know. Like, not necessarily unhealthy in like, okay, their body is weak or so, they get like sicknesses or something, but it's just like their behavior and like the way of life might be like unhealthier for like, you know, it might be like on the unhealthier side for them. And then it's like about making the difference, you know, in like being self-aware, see where you go too far, and then like try to regulate it, you know. Gaming takes a lot of time away, especially if it's like a live service game, right? Currently like Japan, for example, is like kind of a gacha game fatigue, you know. They have like kind of enough of that, and when there, you know, we have like a Foyoverse, like Honkai Impact 3rd, Genshin Impact, Endless Zone Zero, Honkai Star Rails, Wuthering Waves. Can you keep up with like all those open world gacha games? And there might be like things like Ima Missimi, which has a massive time sink. Like one career, if you play it for the first time, can like take 3 hours, maybe 2 hours. If you like keep it on repeat with the grind, then it's like 30 minutes, you know. Like just skip the races, you know, something like that. Skip the concerts. But still like a lot of time that's like getting lost. Kinda like have to make it a marathons games play session, like, you know, like that you have like one game session, okay, Genshin, do our dailies 30 minutes, then next one, okay, Wuthering Waves, next one, Blue Archive, next one. Like you lose like so much time, you can't really like enjoy the game, you know, like sit back, like let it sink in, like process it, you know. It can be quite a stress, and like for me, for example, I do have a little bit too much, but it's somewhat fine, like if I don't have overtime. With overtime, like from work, things do be unbalanced, and yeah, when I do have to sacrifice, for example, like the time I would like use for social media, for example, or like Discord, maybe even sacrifice my sleep, you know, just to keep up for like some kind of stupid live service game, you know. And yeah, and sometimes I still like be jumping into the danger, you know, of like, you know, shorting my sleep, getting like more prone to diseases, I suppose, shortening your lifespan. Like if you just do it for one day, few days, you know, not much of a danger, but if you keep that up forever, for a long time, reason to be worried. There's a reason to be worried. Like drinking caffeine for like, let's say like in a young age, is for like long term. Let's say like in tea there can be caffeine, and then also like careful, you know, like how much you consume. And I'm not a coffee drinker, but I do drink tea. There was like kind of like, oh, am I doomed? You know, is my lifetime shortened? But it was nothing like that. But you know, like your actions, you know, they do influence like things like lifetime. If, for example, like sleep a lot, you do live longer. But at the same time, when you look like at how much time is spent like in life with sleeping, you know, it's like 33%. Maybe if you like, I don't know, like what is like the maths here, you know? What is like the best way to min-max like life on like how much you can like use your time actively? Do you like reduce the time on like sleep to have more hours, more days, more weeks, more months even, you know, to like spend time with life? Or should you sleep more to have like some kind of safety net? Also like the question, right? But if we don't sleep, we would like die. So this can like shorten our lifespan. So like in a lot of doctors, for example, you know, like if you look like at kind of data, they say like 8 hours would be like perfect. But in actuality, we need like minimum 6 hours or so. But if I'm like desperate as a gamer, sometimes I would like go like for 5 hours of sleep. Like if I'm like desperate, you know. Usually I try like to sleep around 6 to 7 hours, like in the regular work days, and then on weekends I like try to like go for the 8 hours. But I would like to like sleep a long time, like those animals, you know, who prepare like for winter sleep. That they like sleep like for months, you know, and just like be off from like all the burdens of the world. Just like sleep. And when they are like waking up, the sun is up, the snow is gone, and now they can like start like into a newer, fresher kind of world, you know. But we humans, you know, we still have like to deal with everything, like the nature, the society, the work environment, the difficulties of life. You know, sometimes I would like to just like sleep for a long time and be like waking up feeling refreshed, and then yeah, okay, time to like start off again, you know, like with like fully refreshed HP, MP, you know, something like that. I don't really like, I do like use some kind of like sleep with like eye mask. I listen to like some ASMR when I fall asleep. And if I'm like feel really overworked, like when my body hurts, I do drink like magnesium, for example. And I think like the biggest difference is really the magnesium. I don't know, but drink like, you know, it's like those droplets, you know, you dissolve them in water, drink that like 1 hour before you like go to bed, and then it does help. And I think like every single time I had like a hard work day, my body hurts, I do drink the magnesium kind of droplet, like dissolve in water. Yeah, so vitamin C sometimes, It's like things like zinc, tastes like orangey, like it's like kind of sour, but it's like also like sparkling, you know, and it's like really refreshing. And once you like go to sleep, and then after a time like wake up, I do feel really refreshed. Sometimes I do feel like this is like the very thing that carries me. Like if it comes like to recovery, resting, like feeling more refreshed, but like the times where I would like not use that, you know, but just like raw dog in my sleep. I do like feel the difference that is like there with the magnesium. Usually I was like the tea drinker, you know. But sometimes I do like think, you know, instead of like sticking to what we're familiar with, but like try to like experience more, like expand your horizon. There do be benefits in that. There do be advantages in like trying new things out. Like keeping like, you know, things open. I was like a little more like regarding my views, you know. When I was younger. I did keep them narrow, I don't know. There were like other things I had to worry about. Like fitting in school. Trying to find like purpose, I'd say. And also like family-wise. Like the difference in like issues when you were like younger and like now, you know, like as an adult, they're like pretty different. And kind of like, you know, like no matter where you are in life, you still like deal with problems. I was like kind of hoping when I was like younger, you know, once I grow up, I'm like free of all those kind of issues, but there are still like other problems, you know. For me it was like over time, I lost like time of my day, and then like, no, my gut just gets you, my routine, it's rude. Why? Of course I get money, you know, but no, my time, my schedule. I'm capping on like some AP or like race points. I'm gonna recover from that, you know. But at the end of the day, it's just a game, you know. Like things are just a game, and they're there to be like enjoyed, you know. But there is like something that like is like poking me like in the back of my head and be like, yo, Tosan, you brick man, you cap on your stamina, and yeah, it's kind of like, you know. But yeah, sometimes things can't be helped. Sometimes you have like to accept like that life has like a firm grip on you. You can't like really change much about it. What you can like change is like how you view things, you know? Like your mindset regarding like unavoidable stuff. like if you you know, it's like cold outside, right? And then you start off the talk with like to your coworker, like friend, man, it's so cold. You can't do anything about it if you like talk it out, right? If you can't change it, you know, then why like starting like a Reddit thread, you know, something like that, or like a conversation. And if you can't change it, no need to like, you know, start the conversation. Like, actions speak louder than words, you know? Like, if it comes like to things like that, when you like see an issue or problem, then, you know. But this is Zatsudan stream, you know? I do like report more or less, sometimes like tell stories, or like just like kind of like, you know, go like a tangent, just like yap, and then that's about it with the with the program. But I do be like happy. It's like Friday night, you know. Finally, it's Friday night, and then there's like here like Majima dancing, you know, down da 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 down down down. I did play like Yakuza 1 and 2, like PlayStation 2 era. I had like the luck that I got like RPs to gifted, and then I could like play those, you know. But yeah, I kind of like wanted to play like the newer games like PS3, PS4, you know, or like things like the newer Nintendo stuff. But yeah, the PS2 had still like some kind of sleeper kind of titles, and I got like to Yakuza like randomly, you know, and then I'd be like, yo, this feels so cool, you know. Like the only thing that was like familiar to me was like something like GTA, but Yakuza had like a storyline, had like meme-worthy like moments. And regarding the story, took itself very seriously, and I didn't really have this kind of experience in like mature games like that. Like GTA is like age restricted because like you F around, you know, and this can be like of guns or like violence and everything, but for Yakuza, it's not because of that reason, but because, you know, it does like address like something more violent. Not violent, but like serious. I don't know. Like it's like it takes itself seriously, you know. While GTA doesn't, like if you think about the usual gameplay, it doesn't take itself seriously. But once it goes like to the side quest with like Yakuza, then it's like day and night, and then yeah, there's like where all the memes come from. I would like to play like Yakuza at some point. I don't know if I can play like this year. If I can like manage to like start a playthrough this year. Like I still like I still have 6 songs I'm busy with. And then I wanted to play also like Ender Magnolia. Like the sequel from Ender Lilies or so. Move like Metrovania. The thing is like for Ender Lilies, the focus was not mainly on the gameplay. Like the gameplay is not the one that is like the most polished, while that was like for Hollow Knight and Silksong, is the case, probably. That was just like the visual art direction. The emotions it like awakened in me, like, you know, like the way it like sets up the tone, the impacts and everything, and then the music. Like, in body and soul, I feel like this game a lot. Like Ender Lilies. And it did like left something. And then like also the not talking, the protagonist who doesn't talk. It does like change, like it does change. But usually, you know, that like even like without saying anything, your actions, you know, like she speaks so loudly, even though she doesn't talk, you know, like when the actions talk louder. It's just like, yeah, it does really understand like things so well. And then I do look forward to like, you know, the game after Inner Lilies, of course, like with those things in mind. So I do like want to play Magnolia. I did heard good things. Also, like both games that came before Silksong, you know, I had like the chance, but now it has to like, you know, I still have to wait there. But I would like to like get back there. There are like so many plans, but not always enough time. If you think about it, you know, like Steam library, I think the meme is like more or less that you see like the sales, right? And you'll be like, oh man, it's a good moment to like get this game. When you get the game, you know, like, you buy it, and then it's all about when can you play, right? If I only had my work, and then games are like my only free time, and I would be able to like game, no issues, but I do draw as a hobby, I do stream as a hobby, I do play Smash every now and then travel maybe. And then I also have like to manage a in-game club, and I do that nowadays with the bare minimum, but it still takes time away. So you sleep like, I sleep like about 6 to 7 hours, then there's 8 hours of work, sometimes it gets like to 10 hours. And then this will vary my time schedule, you know, but I expect like about to have 9 to 10 hours of free time. If that gets reduced to like 8 hours, it can like take a lot of like, it does like ruin a lot of my planning. So I kind of like to hope, okay, please, no overtime. No overtime, please. One way to like avoid it is like just like quit the job, right? Or like get a better job. But the thing is also like, would be there another place that would like that is like willing to take me, you know? Would I still be accepted somewhere else? And you do lose time if you like quit the job and like reapply somewhere else. Unless you had like some things prepared, you know. I do not have really a safety net or like a plan in case like, you know, I lose my job. Usually you should like have one. I do like be aware that for example like some streamers, you know, VTubers, you know, they do like content creators in general, you know, they put everything on like content creation, you know, they do like the gamble, and then sometimes, you know, like the stories you like hear of do be like pretty nice, like for those who will be successful, but not everyone is like so lucky, you know. I do say it's luck. Skills also involved, but it's like mainly luck, I would like say nowadays. But skill also important. The thing is, like, if you use skill, you have to play it out slowly. Like maybe within a year, you know. For the algorithm to build up and everything, it can't be like done overnight. Not really. Even if there's like a big streamer, like, or like content creator, you know, like the biggest in YouTube, like drops by, like rates you or so. It's like temporarily a success, but like long term, But yeah, I think like the things of like short term is like you get like fame over like at least like overnight, like once. You maybe like be able to pay the bills for like 1 month, you know. But then like what's next, you know? You can't like hope for like another miracle like that. You have like to ride on the momentum, right? You have like to create, like do take the actions in your own hand, you know. If you play like the passive kind of way, you know, like reacting to like everything that's like coming towards you instead of like actively building like something cool. Like sometimes I would love to like imagine that the work is like done by itself, you know, that you don't have to do anything for like work to finish, but you have to like do the work, you know. There's like no way around it. It's like how I see it, you know. You can't like wait for your pen to magically move like right on its own. Okay, that's maybe Chat GPT or so, right? But, you know, if you're like an artist, for example, you have to do the art, you know, you have to draw. Instead of like, you know, having some magic there that the drawing draws itself or so. Like a lot of things in life are like man-made. Like anime, like music, games. It all is like, you know, an effort. Nothing that's like a gift from the universe, from God or so. It's like, you know, artwork. And we do love hard work, right? When things are pretty lawless, corporate slop or so, there's like no effort, when we do like be aware of that, you know. And like they try to go for a quick cash grab, you know. It's, you know, it sometimes reminds me of the anime, right? They do a strong start, but then like somewhere in the middle, an ending, it gets like pretty bad, you know. Like for some kind of corporate slop or so. I think sometimes like the advertisements are like the one thing that look like very nice, but when you get into the game, it's like eh. One thing that had like kind of a cool beginning, like a gacha game I played. It had like something very magical, like regarding like inviting you. It had like very beautiful visuals. You know, like in paint, in art, and there are like things like drawn in acrylic colors, like acrylic kind of style. Like there's an anime like Hai to Gensu no Krim ga, where like the backgrounds are entirely like like drawn in like acrylic colors. And the whole opening and endings also like with drawn in acrylic kind of tools. And it looks like really beautiful. But there's like also a like gacha game that is like entirely drawn by that, and then there's like 2D, and it's like wow, it's like art. And the music, fantastic, you know, it has like a lot of like famous like Japanese musicians. Yuko Ohara, for example, like who did all the ending songs for like Mushoku Tensei. And then a lot of like high profile voice actors, and some of them also do sing the songs themselves, like all the characters have their old theme songs. And yeah, it was like an AFK kind of game, but like it seemed to have a story in the beginning and looked like really beautiful, and then the music, you know, and then yeah, that's a wonderful start. But then once you like try like advance further, you do like notice, hey, where's the story, you know? It's like for me the case. Like with playing the game Memento Mori. Hello Deadfish, welcome to the Zatsudan stream. I really talk here. I just survived the week that had like to do with a lot of overtime and so, and kind of like tangenting into like stuff with like the overwork kind of thing as our source or overtime. Currently I like talk about like things that have like a wonderful start, but like ending wise and like, you know, it's like kind of I think like for some people it's like examples like Erased, you know? Wonderful start, but then somewhere in the middle, you know, something like that. Just like the air balloon, it's just like out of like air. No fuel anymore or anything, right? I had like the same feeling for like playing Memento Mori. Where it was a story, you know? And some players said, the stories are like in the gacha characters. Like if you level them up, you can like see their story. And in a sense, some of the storylines do get continued with like by like experiencing like the story from their point of view. It's like some more or less like the Bond story in like Blue Archive also. But instead of like in a casual lighthearted way, it's just like flashback when they retell the story like in their kind of perspective, like first person perspective or so. And it's like one way to tell a story, but it's nothing where I'm like sold, to be honest. But yeah. You can measure my disappointment I had like there. But yeah, like things like Darling the Franxx, Erased. What else is there? Promised Neverland, I think, like when the first season's good, you know, the first arc in the manga with the orphanage, but then afterwards, I still haven't watched like the second season, but I think I'm better off like not watching that, you know. I was like thinking, hey, if the anime is like bad second season, then I should like read the manga. I did read the manga, I did complete the manga, but man, I do like see where like the disappointment comes from. I really do see it. Oh, I heard third season went like, huh? There's no third season. It is like all done and rushed in the second season or so, like in the Promised Neverland. I never watched anything past season 1. I think like it's fine like that with like the Promised Neverland. But yeah, it's like kind of a weird state, you know. It is the best anime, but also like the worst anime. Like no anime like the first season of like the Promised Neverland. Oh, actually, yeah, actually there's like more like nowadays, but back in the days, it hooked me from the first episode, and then it made me like think, you know, about our way of like consumption, you know, of like cattle, you know, kind of. You know, like we humans are like the superior race in this planet, and then they're like animals, you know. Some are like lucky to be pets, some are lucky to like be in a zoo, some are like under protection, you know, like if they're like a race that's about to like die out, like pandas, you know. But some are like there to be eaten, right? And then like flipping that around, it's kind of like really interesting. Like kind of subverting like one thing in your life and putting that into a story. And then, you know, those characters, the main characters, they're all like children. I mean, their opponents are like way stronger than them. And then they have to be like, they have to outsmart them, you know. And they have like horrible starter hands, but they have like some kind of strengths, you know, they can play out, and it does be super interesting. And like every episode I could like predict like where it would like go, you know, like and then like all the like kind of like plot twists here and there. It was really fantastic, and I do not want to like forget the good experiences from that. It was great. It was a great work. And yeah, I do crave for more like good stuff like that. But currently, what I think is like the next like kind of work where I do feel like there is like unpredictability, you know? You're not able to tell like where it can go from there. It's like Nukitashi, the animation. I don't know if you heard about it, but the Trash Taste Boys mentioned like something about like watching that anime, you know? Like edgy anime going too far or so. And I was like curious about this anime. I was aware there was like a vision of the game of that, but it got animation. And now after I like watched the first episode, man, it's like nothing like to... It's like not the Promised Neverland, but the thing is like, man, I want to watch the next episode. I do want to continue. I don't know like what direction this goes, you know? Like with isekai nowadays, I do kind of predict like where it can like go. There's also like this one anime with like a very long name. I have to like look it up. Why was I expecting or craving violence? Violence can also like sometimes like violence. It is like overdone, but it do be interesting in like a it does be interesting, like setting like a conflict, you know, when you have to when it's like about solving the conflict. This can be like super, like violence is like, yeah, it's like kind of like, it's not overdone. Maybe it's overdone. But usually like action, Sakuga, it's like kind of connected with that, right? Like, like this thing. Like Demon Slayer, you know? There are like some that, like anime, like some anime nowadays are like really predictable, you know? And they do be like kind of funny to like think about, you know? Like, have you heard about the anime like Backstabbed in a backwater dungeon? My trusted companions tried to kill me, but thanks to the gift of unlimited gacha, got level 99999 friends, and I'm out for revenge on my former party members and the world. Yeah, I wonder what this anime is about. Wow, let's go. Yeah. I watched like the first episode and of that anime with the very long title. Bags in the backwater dungeon, my trust companions tried to kill me. Thanks to the gift for unlimited gacha, level 999 friends and out for revenge on my party members and the world. Like, I watched the first episode of that and it's kind of like, yeah, the title was funny, but like actually looking into that, But yeah, what was I expecting, you know? I'm still gonna watch that, you know? I started it. I think I want to see it through the end. You know? Like with like those fantasy stories, you know? Be it isekai or like some kind of revenge story, underdog ones. It does very feel like, I don't know like if it's gonna be a hot take, you know, but maybe it's gonna be a hot take, but I feel like those isekai stories or like revenge stories are more or less like the bully stories in the high school or so. And if you like kind of convert into high school life is like relatable, right? While like things like isekai and such are like not relatable at all, right? Sometimes it's relatable because you like put in a self-insert character or so. That's like very normal. But if you see it as a high school revenge story or so, like the main character is the bully, is getting bullied, and then the bullies are like the evil ones. It's always interesting to see how can they turn it around with their shitty starter hand, you know? Like they have no friends, they have like no one to protect them, and when the bullies are like always picking on them, and when the risk is there, you know, like the one risk right at the beginning of the story is like that they can get very violent to like kill off the main character in a sense, right? Like that the blood armor is getting broken, and there's always the constant threat of that. But how do they change that? How can they change that situation? Do they be smart? Do they like seek out to be stronger? You know, to like there are like many ways on like solving an issue, you know. Maybe like teachers, you know, like use your charisma. But sometimes if this like problem is like existing for a long time, like bullying, might be the case that the teachers don't really help, you know, that the main character lost their hope or so. Might be like blackmailing, whatever. And it can be done many ways on like solving the issue, but if it turns out, okay, oh, I got unlimited gacha, I got like now all of a sudden like a level 9999 friend or so, then it's kind of lazy, to be honest, right? And when I was kind of like watching that Backstab in the backwater dungeon, my trusted companion betrayed me, but I got like you know, like this anime, you know, when you finally got like an overpowered friend, then it's kind of like, yeah, yeah, like in the bully story, this is like, yeah, like I wish I would, like when I had like it hard in my high school times, you know, that I got like a level 999 friend who like kicked their asses or so. But yeah, that's like not how it works. Or it's like, it's not, you know, you're not supposed to like self-insert, you know, or like relate to it. But if you think about real life, you know, like it's like a really relatable issues or getting bullied or so, you know, like getting backstabbed. Maybe not so, or maybe, you know, depends on life experience. But if you kind of compared, you know, like if you see this as a bully story and not like a fantasy story where it's like, okay, it's not the real world, then, you know, maybe you can like see the flaws like a lot easier. And what is it about with this topic, you know, like with this kind of niche cliche like nowadays? You get a shitty ability, but it turns out this ability is like strong, you know? It's a good example in real life. Bully stories. Not really, I would say, right? For me, I would like say maybe the voice. I was not thinking much about voice like back in the days. When it turns out that it's like something useful. Well, was it a thing I could like make a comeback with against my bullies? Not really, right? Yeah, that's not really, there's nothing relatable really. Like those kind of abilities that are like shitty, then they turn out to be good. Like you get dealt a bad starter hand, but then it turns out like one of the cards are like, is a broken card. Yeah. You know, I think like No Game No Life was like kind of interesting. It was also an isekai story, but it had like some really interesting stuff going on there, you know. If you don't like No Game No Life, it's like an anime that was like released 2012, like anime adaptation, like it was based on a light novel, and there's no season 2, but the first, like a short summary is like that they're like two gamers, Shiro and Sora. They're both like siblings, and they're like needs and like stuck at home, you know. Don't go to school, they don't have work, they're like just gaming. And then they're like destroying everyone, like in the games. They're like dominant, nobody can beat them. At some point they get like a invitation from like Ted, you know, like from something from another world, and they play like first a session of like chess, and then like afterwards they get like invited to like enter the other world, you know, like after they bet them, and when they accept and they go to the other world, and like the other world is like it's called this board. Yeah, this board, I think it was called. And this world is like kind of structured in a way where if you win in a game, you can like the winner takes it all, you know. They can like ask the loser to do anything for them, you know, that they something like that. That the winner's like always in the right. And it's like something about that, yes. And I thought, you know, if you like kind of decide in a game rather than like in a test of violence or like test of like strength or so, like who wins like in this kind of confrontation. It can be like kind of cool, and then, but why were they like kind of invited in the other world? Why were they sent there? There are like many different races like in this board. They're like things like beast creatures, they're like angels, they're like something like demons, onis and so. I mean, they're humans, you know. And while in this game, while in this like kind of setting, you know, where like things are decided by like games, we're like able to cheat in those games, you know. But don't get caught, you know. Like it's like in Las Vegas, you know, like with casinos, you know. You can get a lot of money out of there, but if you get caught like cheating, oh man. And the thing is, like those creatures in this or like races in this world, they're like able to cheat without getting like caught, for example, because they're like demons, they're like beasts, they have like superhuman ability, but the humans in this world, they don't have any abilities. They're like the underdogs, and they keep like losing. They lose a lot more land or something like that. And they wanted like to bring like the gamers from the other world, you know, like from planet Earth, to like carry them. And it does be interesting to like bring like two strong gamers like Shiro and Sora like to this world. And yeah, I thought it was like kind of a cool concept, and yeah, I'm in. Okay, no. And like in this way of like playing with your shitty hands, but actually like do it in a smart way, I do like find it cool, you know, instead of like some kind of overpowered ability or so, or like some weak ability but it's like a strong ability. When it's just like this kind of aspect, you know, they need a hero from our world, you know, but it's just like the hero of the our world has like some skills. It's not like they get like they get gifted like some kind of ability from a goddess or so. It is like self-earned, and if you like bend like the rules and everything like in the game to your favor, but like see the loopholes, like, you know, rules are there to be broken, this kind of like meta, it has to be like, yeah, like trying to play to understand the start that you've like been dealt with and like played like with all the knowledge you have like available. I do like think it's a cool series. I do think it's like a cool concept, you know. Obviously, like people like those writers or like those kind of bad anime you know, like light novel writer, they do like see that and be like, hey, that's cool, I wanna put it in my story too. But it's not necessarily the elements that are like good, but like the whole concept on its own, you know, like not the concept but like the writing, that it like makes sense, you know. Sometimes we do crave like for something homemade or so, like okay, they're the ingredients, you know, but you can't really like copy it like another guy's recipe, you know, without like feeling it like to copy it, or like so, right? Like Breaking Bad, for example, we would like to have another Breaking Bad, like something of the same quality, but we don't necessarily want a Breaking Bad too, right? Because the story is complete. And like seeing a copycat of that, yeah, don't really need that. Like heard of Metastasis, you know, like this Breaking Bad knockoff, like what was it? Like a Colombian one, yes, Colombian one. Nobody asked. Nobody like asked for that. But sometimes people do be like smart, you know? Instead of like copying it just like and do it like worse. Or, like try to make it better, but it's like worse. You know, you take inspiration from there. And then try to make your own thing with that inspiration in mind. Like Power World. Well, it's not anime really, you know. You heard of like Pokemon, and then it has like kind of the reputation on like, yeah, it's a multi-billion-dollar company. They could make the best games ever, but recently they're like wash, they'll be slacking. They have a lot of money, they have the best data ever, but they don't like use the cards really well. And then there's like one kind of, you know, company out there, indie, maybe, and then be like, hey, let me play with your starter and I'm gonna do it better than you. And but instead of like copying the whole deck, you know, because it's expensive meta, you know, and as a free to play also, you can only copy so much, but maybe, you know, some like kind of like bases, like give me one or two cards off the hand they can like maybe like take and then like play it on their own and then do like a better job than them. And it can be like great for competition, you know, and be like, oh, let me like take a look at your homework and then maybe I can learn something from you. You can like go in a good direction. Similar to like with Minecraft and Terraria. Have to go to bed now? Good night, Tosan. Alright, good night to you. It's like late evening, of course. To be honest, I should also like go to bed, but at the same time, I do have to like catch up to like my dailies and like my games. I played too many, but I'm like about to quit one of the games, but I have to like reach a certain level there first before I can do that, and I kinda like molding, like grinding for that, let's say that, yes. Live service games do kick my ass in terms of like my time management. I do like plan to have like some extra hours in the day, but when one game takes like too much time off my day away. I do like to like stream some games, but some of the games I like play I cannot stream, like live service ones, since I do like feel like they're not interesting to watch. It's like very AFK-ish. It's like this kind of auto path, auto battle thing. Like, it's very similar to like the MMORPGs back in the days or so. Where it's like not 3D, but it's like you see like some kind of 2D-ish, 2.5D-ish character walking like a map or so. It's like either pixel or like they're like fully hand-drawn animated or so. Something like that. Maybe Unreal Engine or so. But it's not really like that they use 3D or so. But they do be animated, they do like walk around when they strike, and then you have like some things like skill bars like something different, but it's like a lot of like, you know, there's like the buttons from 1 to 10. No, 1 to 10, 1 to 0, 1 and to 9, and after 9 it's like 0, right? And like about 10 different keys where like all your skills are like are placed, something like that, right? You click like on the screen here and there, then use the shortcuts of like the skills, some things like potions, like they're like this kind of MMORPGs, right? I feel like, you know, like if I think about that, there are like things like WoW, World of Warcraft, and I played like World of Warcraft one time, like back in the days. like nowadays there's like also Final Fantasy, right? But what I like talking about is like things like Ragnarok, also Ragnarok Online, like those things back in the days of like those little cute anime-ish chibi characters, like, you know, where you like walk around and it's like not a 3D or so, it's like a 2.5 or like 2D-ish, you know, something. But perspective on like how you know, how you see that. Like currently I play like a live service game that's like more or less like built like that, but it's like mostly like auto battle and auto path, you know. It's like not really interesting. Back in days, this was like interesting for me because there was like no other cool thing that's like compare. Let's not say cool thing, but let's say it was like really stuff on like entertainment or so, and then everything could be like fine. And if those gamers, you know, would be like, hey, wanna try it too, and be like, my eyes would like glow up, and my whole gray days, you know, that I could like spend with gaming or like spend with like some activity, but just like watching, you know, like getting opportunity to like have the wheel, the joystick in my hands, you know, or like the keyboard, you know, like putting my hands on it, and then it does be like great. And they would like guide me, hey, this is like where you walk, this is like how you like shoot, you know, something like that. Sometimes just like a mouse clicker game, you know, where you play like one-handed. And yeah. Then I have like entertainment for the day, like a way to like you know, like spend your time. Things like smartphones also didn't exist back in the days. I really was like kind of desperate for like entertainment. And things like streams or so, let's plays were not common. But in the one place where I like made vacation, people were like really open or so. The doors would be wide open or so. And sometimes when I like look from the front door and then like look inside, I can like see someone like in the gaming session. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I just walk in without being aware. I kind of like in a hypnosis and like walk in, be like, oh yo, hello, little kid, what are you doing here? And then like, oh, I just wanted to see the gameplay, you know, something like that. It's just like me as a viewer, like randomly like coming into someone's stream, you know, but it's like that's just in real life. I can remember like my aunties, they were like looking for me. We like going from house to house or so, and then there he is, and then yeah. I kind of made trouble here and there, but I had like a fun time when you know, when the house owner who was like gaming, or like let's say the streamer, like nowadays like the streamer be like, and then putting the viewer in, be like, hey, wanna play with me, you know? I have like another console there, and then it was like the SNES, and then they had like things like Super Mario there, or like some 1v1 Tetris or so, and it was like, yeah, let's go, you know? It was like a kind of cool time when like you get like this opportunities, you know, you were just a viewer, but then, hey, wanna play, you know? Then it's like, instead of like watching someone play a single player game, that you get dragged into like a multiplayer game. And it's kind of like cool, you know? Maybe like how Nintendo, you know, back in the day was like family friendly, and it's like kind of like the entertainment that values like the multiplayer perspective instead of like single player. Like if you think about back in the days, the values back in the days that Nintendo had, yeah. like experience are so much more worth than like money and so. Like coming for experience or like coming for the friends, you know, you may earn along the ways. Yeah, don't sleep on that. Don't sleep on that. Okay, how long am I in? More than 1 hour, holy crap. It doesn't like feel like I yep for so long. I'm currently just gaming, you know, like off stream. You don't see it on stream, but let's say it's more or less a work stream, you know. I keep that in back, but I have like this stream there as well. But the way like entertains, like, why am I talking? You don't like really see anything like I do on stream. And let's say it's like not a good game. I don't really like want to recommend that one. It's a shitty ass game, but it's like surprisingly better made than like Raid Shadow Legends, I must like say. I got like a glimpse of like Raid Shadow Legends, like the game that it's like, you know, you see a lot of sponsor art of, but actually the gameplay is like pretty ass. It's like really ass. And what I play is like better than Raid Shadow Legends, but at the same time I can't recommend this game, you know. I can play like better games like Musume or so. But there are like those things like slave works, you know, like back in the home office, you know. You can like do questionnaires, you can do like things like oh, play this game, reach like level 175, or like reach level 2000 in like the Candy Crush kind of thing, or like One Arm Bandit kind of game, you know, and then we pay you out. And getting the best do this kind of like, you know, like fulfilling the objective can take like 1 month or so. And the payout is like some points that you can like trade in against like gift cards, and like the worth of that is like about 40-50 bucks or so. And then you work like 1 month for that. It's like pretty bad trade-off, I must like say. Unless the game's like really good, or the pay is better, I would not consider that. But you know, I kind of want to play, stay free to play. I didn't want to pay like more money for like gift cards. I wanted like some free, then I do like every now and then. But yeah, but you know, like some kind of tasks have time limits. You know, do them in 30 days or so. Then all right. Actually, like in the middle of like doing that, I have only like about 3 days remaining, but it looks like pretty doable. But I have to like be really active to do so. And actually, surprisingly, this game's like really in depth. But yeah, I don't really want to advertise the game. It's like a shitty ass game. It's like, while I still like see it's like better than like Raid Shadow Legends, I still like see like, nah, I can't recommend this game. I do have like some my values there, you know. I rather like promote like things like Silk Song, you know, like indie games, really good indie games, or like in a Musume, you know. Blue Archive, I'm kind of mixed there. I do love the story, but they did my friend dirty. And now I kind of like in the same camp of like maybe the Maple Story guys, you know, who kind of like saw the problems in there. I lived like for so long in blissful ignorance, but now that something happens, like, yeah. Maybe it's like, you know, maybe a similar sentiment with like PAL World vs Nintendo, you know, where you kind of like feel like, the big guy's like bullying the little guy, you know. Don't like that. But yeah, can't be helped. Well, I said I can't be helped, but there are some things that a gamer can do there. But I don't really like want to be responsible, so I'm not gonna like say anything there. But yeah, disclaimer, the stream here is like for entertainment purposes only, no? Like everything like I say, everything that you see on stream, it's just like for the purpose of entertainment. I do not condone or like encourage any like, you know, acts like of violence or like bullying someone, you know. Just like disclaimer, just to be safe. I think like the actual thing is like fair use, right? If you use like some materials or so. My random talk is not really material, just like, I don't know, I pulled it out of my remaining brain cells there, my 2 brain cells, my 3 brain cells, whatever's like alive after like the week worth like of the week's worth of like work I've like accomplished. But I hope like that next week I have like a little bit more time. This week is like kind of is pretty iffy, since I had like to deal with the overwork and I couldn't like really like put up a stream like in the middle of the week or so. It's like all focused like on the weekends, and even though I do like consistency, it's not all at the same time, you know, like I kind of split it apart regarding, okay, one's like late evening, one's in the morning, one's like in the afternoon. I have to test it more or less out, but also like have to like arrange it in a way that kind of like fits to my circumstances. Let's say like that. I had like the options to do it like this morning, but I kind of like want to go like the Friday night kind of vibe. And well, it's not really party time, but just like me sitting down and yapping, you know. I just came home from work and I feel like, I wanna relax. No, I'm finally home. Like after, you know, you had like a lot of work done. Your body is like aching. You're like away like from the work. It was like pretty dusty for there, so I was like wearing a face mask, and my throat would be like dry, and kind of like had a tired kind of feeling. But once I get like you know, home, close the door behind me, like all those emotions, you know, I kind of like feel more relieved at this point. Like my shoulders, my kind of body posture relaxes, and I can like sit down or like let myself fall onto the bed and be like, you know, I can finally be vulnerable, let loose, and it's like a nice feeling, you know, after hard work is like done, to like, you know, relax and use like the weekends to like recover. Some people are like still strong enough mentally, still crazy enough to like, okay, let's do more work, you know, just like the workaholics. But for me, I'm just a normal human guy. I'm just a little guy. I do need my rest. I do need my time. I have a lot of things to do. But I also like to complete that task. And yeah. Once I think like I'm like wide and like far enough, gonna like see what I can do with the time I like gain back. Maybe not gain back, but I was like busy with this game for like about 27 days. I need to like kind of like do it within 30 days. I think like how the pacing is like so far, maybe I can get that far. Oh, actually now it's like my time zone, it's like now Saturday. It's like midnight now. Yeah, but I'm like quite busy with something, but once this is done, can go back like to a time where I have like more freedom. Let's say that. Don't want to repeat myself again. And I do want to look like more into like things I can do for my channel. I was like kind of contemplating for today if it's just be a Zatsudan or if I could like do something like art, you know, a little bit on the sidelines. But I think like I use the time on like do my task first, complete the task, and then peace out, you know. Take the money, take the points, get out. When I have time, and then I can look into like stuff. I was like thinking about, hey, let's draw some emos, or like things I could like draw for the channel, like a banner or so. And I was also like kind of thinking about you know, like some kind of updates for like the channel in general, like UI, like might update like the loading screens, you know, something like that. Since I don't really know when I start exactly like streaming, you know. Like I don't really do anniversaries, but I just like do my birthday. Then let's set that as one, right? You know, like it's kind of milestone. Like okay, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. Like for my live streaming, like on a regular basis, it might like reach like when year 3, year 2 or 3 or so. Yeah, let's say like year 2. Where it's like completed, something like that. My birthday, by the way. It's like on the December 11th. It's like where I gonna. But I want like to prepare more or less something for that. You can keep your expectations low. It's like not really that much, but just like saying since it is like time zone wise. In my time zone, it's like the 11th of October. It's like only like today and 2 months like away until my birthday. It's like a lot of time, but yeah. I won't do anything too special, but I do not want to like, you know, let someone down or like let you gamers down too much, you know. Like it is like, you know, I have like some veggies for you, but you don't want to eat your veggies, so I kind of have to make it a way that you can like, you know, still eat your veggies and be satisfied in a way, right? I kind of have to like to figure that out, more or less. But yeah, I think I'm gonna like continue with my tasks here, and maybe like watch some anime. I kind of like want to continue with Kitashi, like I mentioned. Like this, this is so crazy, this kind of anime. But and I'm glad like that Trash Taste Boys talk about it, else I wouldn't have like started it, you know. But Maybe I'm like gonna talk about it like tomorrow? No, tomorrow. It's today technically. Like, it's like midnight for me. It's like, yeah. My next stream is like about 16 hours. Actually, let me look at the schedule. Just a minute. The next stream is like about 16 hours. In less than 16 hours. We're gonna draw like, where do I art stream? I draw like the party mangaka guy, Hisaki Gama, who was formerly a member of Holostars Uproars. This is what you can expect here. Holostars VTuber fan art. Alright? In any case, that's all for today. Not for today. This stream. And yeah. Thank you for watching. If you did watch, thank you for listening. I mean, there's nothing much to watch, to be honest. It's just like we're talking. Thank you for listening. I wish you a nice rest of the day, evening, and good night. Whatever time in the world you all are. Like I'm gonna say, bye bye.